Welcome back to a new data analysis tutorial. In this video we are going to talk about the loc and iloc functions of Pandas. I'm going to explain how we can use them, and also I'm going to do a lot of examples with different setups. Let's start coding. Okay, I'm in VS Code, but you can use any code editor that you want. Firstly, I'm going to start by creating a code cell and importing Pandas and NumPy. And next, let's talk about loc and iloc firstly. So Pandas data frames has two main ways to access rows and columns, loc and iloc. So they are going to be like this. And these are extremely important for data selection, slicing, and updating. Loc here is label based. It means you have to specify the name of the rows and columns. Iloc here is index based. It means you have to specify the position, integer location of rows and columns. We are going to do a lot of examples with them, and let's start by creating a dataset. Before this tutorial, I create the dataset creation code because I don't want this video to be short and informative. So let's turn this into Pandas data frame, and I will pass data. So we are going to have a data frame like this. We have name, age, department, and salary, two categoric, two numeric columns. We are going to be working with them. So also I will say data frame index. I'm going to set index like A, B, C, D, and E. So let's call data frame again. Now we have custom row labels. So let's start with loc. Let's say that we want to select a single row by label. Then we will say data frame loc and we will pass A. Let's say that we want to access to the first one. Here it is. And this returns a Pandas series with all the columns included. So I'm just going to remove those. Here is data frame loc. We selected the row with index A, which belongs to Alice. So let's move with the different example. We can pass a list of labels to select multiple rows at once. So let's say that data frame loc, and let's pass A, B, and E. So we are going to have something like this. Okay, let's go with selecting a single column. For that, I'm going to call the data frame again. Now I will say data frame loc. I will say two dots and name after. So here is our name column in here. This means here is all rows, and we are selecting only the name column for all rows in here. Great. Again, let's go with all rows but only name and department columns. For that we can say data frame loc, and we can pass all rows here, name with department. So here we have those. Okay, let's continue with selecting specific rows and columns together. So I will say data frame loc, and let's say that I only want to select B and D rows. Then I want to take the columns name and salary. So here, actually I think we have a typo. Yeah, here it is. I need to close the list in here. So it's going to work in this way. And now I'm going to make it run. Okay, here it is. Here we selected Bob and David's name and salary. We can also do conditional selection with loc. So I will say data frame loc and data frame age, let's say more than 30, and we are going to select the name and age of that. So here we have the Bob, which satisfies this condition here, and also we can check it by calling the data frame. Only Bob is older than 30. Okay, let's talk about iloc. Remember, iloc is integer location based. So let's select a single row by index position. I will say data frame iloc, and I will pass 0. Since in Python indexes start from 0, it's going to return the Alice, the first row. Here it is. Okay, let's select multiple rows by position. I will say data frame iloc, and let's get like, we are going to pass a list in here, 0, 2, and 4. Here it is. We selected first, third, and fifth rows based on position. Let's continue. Let's select a single column by position. I will say data frame iloc, This time I will say all rows again and I will pass 0. So it's going to be the name column. Here it is. And let's select multiple columns by position. For that we will say data frame iloc, and I will say all rows. I'm going to pass a list like 0 and 2. So we are going to get the name and department. Since this is the first one, this is the third one. Okay, now let's select specific rows and columns by position. For that we will say data frame iloc. We will pass 1 3 on the row side and 0 3 on the column side. We have the name salary for Bob and David. Also we can use slicing with iloc. So we can say data frame iloc and I will pass 1 to 4 like this. We are saying from second to fourth row, and I want to take the first 3 columns like this. Also you don't mention 0, it's going to result the same. Okay, so let's compare iloc and loc together. Print data frame. Let's say that we want to get the Alice name in here. So A, and we need to pass name. And for iloc we can pass data frame iloc 0 and 0. Here it is. It's returning the same result, but one is integer based. Okay, let's call the data frame again. Let's say that we want to update values with loc and iloc. What we can do in here is we can say let's update Alice's salary to 120k with loc. So data frame loc, I will pass A and I'm going to take its salary. So we are going to have this. Now I'm going to set this to 120,000 like this. And now when I call the data frame, we are going to have Alice with the updated salary. And also same applies on iloc too. Let's say data frame iloc 1 and 3. So we got this Bob's salary. And I'm going to set this to 95,000. So when I set this, we are going to have data frame 95,000 on the Bob's salary side. So let's do some examples which are advanced. Let's start with using Boolean masks with loc. So let's say that mask is going to be data frame department. Let's say that we want to employees from engineering and human resources department. So I will pass is in, and I'm going to get like in here engineering and human resources like this. And now I'm going to call the mask. We are going to have booleans by rows, and when we call data frame loc with this boolean indices, we are going to have the entries which satisfies our conditions like working in human resources and engineering. Okay, let's talk about selecting every other row using iloc. So let's select every second row. So we will pick Alice at the first place, then we pick Charlie, then we take Eva. For that we will say data frame iloc and we will pass 2 of 2 dots, and I will say 2 like this. So we have Alice, Charlie and Eva, and Bob and David as passed in here. Okay, let's say that we want to reverse the data frame's rows. So let me call the data frame again. We want it to start from Eva, go with David, Charlie, Bob and Alice. For that we can say data frame iloc and we will pass 2 of 2 in here, and I will say -1. So here we have it reversed. And that was it for the loc and iloc tutorial. I hope you found value in this video. Thanks for watching, and let's get to the outro. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I have a playlist named Python Data Analysis Tutorials where I have more than 40 videos just like this one. You can check that playlist from the cards of this video or from the links in the description. Also, I'm sharing a new data science video every week on my channel. You can subscribe for more videos like this. Have a great day.